Hi, my name is David Gebhardt. In May of 2017, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and believe me, it was a big surprise. Since then, I've tried to record my journey as best as possible by making different videos on topics that I think need to be talked about or feel that I need to share. For the rest of my history, please see my other videos on my channel. But what I'm here to talk about today is Parkinson's disease and anxiety. It's been the hardest thing to deal with since my diagnosis because it's something that really can't be seen, it can't be measured, and it's difficult to explain. How can someone, a young, strong man, succumb to something so insignificant as anxiety? But I'm here to tell you it's true, it's real, and if you've been experiencing it, I hope you can find help. Please don't use this video as a diagnostic tool. If you think you're having anxiety, please see a doctor or a medical professional because there is a lot of help and there is a lot of things that you can do to help ease your anxiety. This video basically covers 3 topics: what causes my anxiety, what helps to control it, and what does it feel like. And honestly, I used to work off a ladder 15 to 20 feet in the air with no problem every day of the week. And, for those who know me, I've hiked through the forest at night in the dark hunting and been fine. But since this diagnosis, anxiety is definitely something that I've had to deal with. Okay, so let's get right to it. Topic 1, what causes my anxiety? Well, basically it's a 2-pronged thing. And if you had a coin, it would be a 2-sided coin. There's medical causes and non-medical causes. As a lot of people know, when you are diagnosed with Parkinson's, basically your brain stops producing dopamine. And you need dopamine for a large number of things. It controls almost everything in your body, so when you stop producing it, hey, things are going to change. And the medication that they give you, which I'm very grateful for, is a synthetic dopamine. So while a lot of your functions do return, it's definitely not going to be the same as you're used to. So the medical causes are basically Parkinson's disease can produce a host of symptoms a mile long, and one of them happens to be depression-like symptoms. But as a neurologist explained to me, you actually aren't depressed, you're just experiencing the symptoms that depression would give you. So, and of course one of those symptoms is anxiety. The other medical cause would be the medication itself. The medication I'm very grateful for, but one of the side effects of the levodopa carbidopa, commonly known as Sinemet, can be anxiety. And it can range from very mild to very severe. But for some reason, hey, life just decided to deal me a certain portion of it, so it's something that I've had to deal with. Non-medical symptoms or triggers can be related to diet. I've found that caffeine is a big trigger, so I've reduced that. Now I just drink decaf coffee. It's not the same. I always used to look forward to a cup of joe in the morning, read the news, check the internet, but now it's decaf, so I've just learned to enjoy it the best that I can. Sugar is another big trigger. I've cut out basically 80-90% of the sugar in my diet. And alcohol just puts a giant stop to everything I'm doing, so no more alcohol. But hey, there's alcohol-free beer, and you can learn to enjoy that as well. Another non-medical area is social situations, so places where there's a lot of noise, crowded spaces, confined spaces with a large amount of people, shopping malls, superstores, save-on foods. Those are all very difficult situations to navigate, and some of them can be very oppressive and draining. So either I'll cut them short or I won't go at all. And as I'll explain a little bit further, those are situations that I like to have a support person around. So what helps to control anxiety? Well, medications, of course. But here's where the fun begins. The Parkinson's causes anxiety, then the medication can cause anxiety. So what the doctors do, which I'm very grateful for, is they'll prescribe you other medications to help you deal with the side effects. So you've got the anxiety, they prescribe you a medication to help deal with the anxiety, and then that anxiety medication can cause other side effects. So now you start stacking pills one on top of the other, and you have all these bonus pills, and they can become quite costly. One pill that was prescribed to me cost $5 per dose. So if you're taking that 3 to 4 times a day, you can just add up the cost over a month. And obviously I'm not taking that because, well, who could afford it? And it's not covered, so I'm gonna have to deal with the symptoms in another way. Other things that help to deal with, obviously, as I explained before, a change in diet. So thankfully, I've learned to identify things that in my diet that trigger the anxiety. And it seems really odd that food would trigger the anxiety, but hey, it does. So I've just learned to cut them out. Talking to someone, here's where your support person comes in. Quite important. It's good to have a regular person because you come to rely on them. They get to know you, and they can tell when you're having anxiety, so they can pull you out of the situation. Hold your hand, help you relax. For me, that person is my wife, so I rely quite heavily on her. So, over time, it's been something that's helped our marriage out in a good way. So. Other things that help, exercise is a big thing. Exercise produces good hormones in your body. It helps to relieve stress. It's been something that there's a large amount of medical studies about. So I encourage you to, if you're not on an exercise program, talk to your physiotherapist, talk to your medical team, find an exercise program that works for you, because as a person with Parkinson's disease or with a similar illness, you'll want to do certain activities and certain exercises that help deal with that as well. Getting back to the social situations, I've found over time dealing with this illness that you only have so much energy per, I only have so much energy per week. I only have so much energy per day, and I have to spend it wisely. And if that means that I have to say no to an invite, which for me is a big loss because I'm a very social person, I've found that over time I've got to put myself first, and that's not always an easy thing to do, but I've got to conserve my energy, because if I overdo it and I put myself out, Parkinson's disease can punish you in, strange ways, but basically movement just becomes even harder. Okay, so the next topic, what does my anxiety feel like? Well, I left this section for last because I didn't want to scare anyone, but when I was younger, I thought, I heard about someone dealing with anxiety. I'm like, yeah, take a pill, talk it out, breathe it out, you'll feel better. But it's not like that at all. So for all those people I doubted in the past, I apologize, because anxiety is, when it gets really bad, and it comes to the point where I can barely walk. And for someone with Parkinson's disease, that can cause freezing where you can't move at all, and that's where your hazard for falling becomes larger. So yeah, basically the anxiety just steps over all the Parkinson's medication, it steps over all the anxiety medication that you've taken. And for me, I just got to go lie down. Basically, I try and get into a quiet, dark space and just wait for the anxiety to pass, whatever amount of time that it is. In social situations, it can be so bad that basically I can break down into tears. And that's the most uncomfortable situation, because that probably means that you shouldn't have been in that situation at all. So I spend a lot of time each day just trying to control my Parkinson's symptoms, but basically, I'm just trying to control my anxiety. So, if you've gotten to this part in the video, I hope that I've helped you to understand Parkinson's disease and anxiety. And if you feel, hey, I think I'm dealing with some of the things that Dave's dealing with, I encourage you to seek out medical attention because, as I pointed out before, there are a lot of things that you can do to help with the anxiety. There's a lot of good medications that the doctors can prescribe you, and there is help there. So I've tried to post videos over time. I don't post a lot. I try to post videos that are well thought out, videos that are meaningful, that I hope contribute to the conversation surrounding Parkinson's disease. I'm not looking for likes or subscriptions, but if you want to leave a comment, or you have a question, or you feel that there's a video you're wanting me to cover, feel free to leave it and I'll do the best that I can to answer and respond. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.